he was so angry. "Stand up straight, Emma. Pay attention. I am speaking of madness." She'd struggled to grasp most of what he'd said, though the words were etched in her mind. "Madness, Emma. It took every effort of the doctors to bring you back to yourself. This fit is possibly the same mental weakness that possessed your mother. I will not lose you to it as well. You must dedicate yourself to cool logic and calm reason. It is your only hope. My only hope. These will be your defenses against the tide of emotional instability. Solitude, silence, rational thought, and seclusion. With the exception of Kersbrook, you are not to leave the attic." Emma gripped the cold, hard edge of the desk, the room spinning. Was she going to have a fit? But she must read James's letter and hear from him in his own words. She snatched up the post and carefully opened the flap on the envelope, hoping her father would think it had come ungummed by itself. St. Scarborough's School, Bournemouth, September 1884. Dearest Emma, it's hard to be back at school. Back to cold showers, bullying prefects and stiff collars. Didn't we have a summer, Em? The best yet. And all the better for Olivier coming too. I shall remember it forever. Do you dream of Devon, Em, now that you are in London? I do. I dream of Kersbrook almost every night. It is perfect, and every house should be made in its image. I dream of the fishing boats pulled up on the pebbles under the red cliffs, and how we bought mackerel from the fishermen. I can smell them as Dillis cooks them for supper. Remember how father turned his nose up? Far too fishy for him. Even when I'm awake, I find myself dreaming of Kersbrook. The sea sparkling in the sunshine and the coolness of the water as I dive in from the boat. You'll think me ridiculous, but on my first night, I actually sprinted out from the dorm and dived into the lake with all my clothes on. I got into real bother for it. Afterwards, I couldn't think why I'd done it, except to say that my heart was far away in Devon. But now I may have worried you, Emma, with talk of jumping into lakes in the middle of the night. There's nothing to be concerned about. Olivier had me out in a jiffy. He understood, of course, and no one would have been any the wiser if it hadn't been for that creep Perkins telling tales to gain favour with the masters. A chap needs a true friend here, and Olivier is the truest. Only one more year in this unfeeling place, and if it all goes well, he and I will be off to the gleaming spires of Oxford. What are you reading today, Em? I think of you looking out over the rooftops of London. Does it weary you, staying hidden away from all the world? I know you could never be lonely with all your books, but I wonder if Mother would not want you to experience life. And so, don't be shocked. I'm going to smuggle you out for a trip when I come back at Christmas. There's something I must see, and I insist you come with me. I've heard that a great tiger was shot in the jungles of India by Lord Ripon and gifted to the Natural History Museum. The tiger's name is Bhayankar Raja, fierce king. He prowled his jungle territory, ever watchful, protecting his realm. He was legendary. I'd like to see him, to look into his eyes, see his great paws and... The writing became blurred here, and she couldn't make out the rest of the sentence. She skipped to where the writing became legible again. I promise I will keep you safe. Say you will come, Em. Now on to other matters. How's your knitting these days? Are you coming on? I caught a terrible cold from my swim, and it's always freezing here. Would you make me a scarf? You must knit it in the brightest orange with black and white stripes, so you would easily...